I've got 1 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get started. And I'll turn my share screen back on in just a minute. Most of you are already doing what you know I'm going to ask you to do. You guys are getting to be experts here at this. So I do want to say that this is going to be a little bit different in that this is a hands-on session. So what I would like you to do, and I'm sharing my screen here again now, is I would like for you, get my chat back up over here. I'd like for you to minimize the Zoom or pull the Zoom, like split your screen, do something so that the Zoom is small. And what I want you to do is, one, if you want the presentation, I'm going to copy that into the chat one more time or a few more times. But what I really want you to do is I want you to go ahead and go to Canvas. So if you can do that now, is go ahead and open up a new tab, open up Chrome, and go ahead and go to Canvas, because this is a hands-on session and we're going to be doing these things together. So if anybody needs some help with that, let me know. And I don't know if you can hear that, but I think they're testing the sirens. That's going off in the background. Okay. Again, for those that are just joining us, if you don't mind kind of splitting the screen so your Zoom is a little bit smaller, and opening up Chrome and going to Canvas. And for those that need the direct link, there's the direct link to Canvas, because you are going to need that because this is a hands-on course. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then we'll just, hopefully there'll be some people here that can help with monitoring the chat. Some of you maybe popping the links to Canvas back in and the links to the presentation back in for those that may need it. All right, let's get started. This is the Canvas Sandbox edition, bit.ly/2AQPPPT. And the A and the third P are capital. So that is if you want a copy of the presentation. And let's get started. Sorry. Hi, I'm Misty. Some of you, this may be your third or fourth session with me. Some of you, that may be your third session with me today. But if you don't know me, I'm Misty. I'm one of the digital learning facilitators in the district. I am also your main Canvas contact and Canvas support in the district. So Jeff and Melissa are the other members of the digital learning team. Jeff is the point contact for Google Classroom, and Melissa is the point contact for Seesaw. So again, I'm your main contact here for Canvas, but you can always reach out to any of the three of us and we'll be happy to help you as best we can. All right, so our agenda. Most of you are already doing this, but if you haven't done so yet, please type your name into the chat so that I can count you as being here for attendance purposes. And so if you won't mind doing that, then we're going to quickly do norms and learning targets. One more time, hit on those district expectations, and then the rest of the time is hands-on. The goals here today are to create a sandbox, create a module, create a content page, and add an external link. Those 4 things. And then anything else that we will do as time allows. And again, this session is for our 6th through 12th grade teachers who will be using Canvas as their primary learning management system this school year. If you are PK through 2, there is a Seesaw sandbox. If you're 3 through 5, there's a Google Classroom going on at the same time. So make sure that you are in the correct session. All right, very quickly, norms. I'm not going to spend too much time on norms because if you've been with me today, you already know what those norms are. But I really want you to just step up, make room, collect wisdom, and think and speak in drafts. For so many of you, this is something new. You may have been using Google Classroom. You may have been using, I I don't think any of you were using Seesaw, but some of you might have been using Class Tag, some of you might have been using nothing, some of you might have been using Engage to Learn, and things like that. And we're all trying to get onto the same page here. So the same page for 6th through 12th grade teachers is Canvas. And so for most of us, that is going to require us to step up, collect wisdom, and think and speak in drafts. So I think these norms are very appropriate to our situation. All right, our learning targets. I can discover ways to utilize Canvas as my online classroom, and I can create a sandbox, a module, and a content page for use in my Canvas course. Hopefully we'll hit all of that. And I am gonna go pretty quickly through this start so that I have more time for the hands-on pieces. If I'm going too fast though, just pop it into chat and tell me to slow down. All right. If you were in the 11 o'clock session, then you already know this, but just in case you weren't, the expectations are that all 6th through 12th grade teachers will use Canvas as their learning management system this classroom, and that all 6th through 12th grade teachers will complete the LMS training course in Canvas prior to their first day of school. I've had a few people email me, so I want to clarify that enrolling in Strive is not enough. You have to enroll in Strive, but you also have to enroll in the actual Canvas course. So there are 2 links. There's a link to Strive, and that's how you'll get your CPE credit. And then there's also a link to the actual Canvas course, and that's where you'll complete your work. If you don't see your Canvas course on your dashboard, the Canvas Basics course, then you'll want to go back to Strive and look in the instructor notes, and there is a link for the enrollment. It's also in this presentation. And again, thank you to Tiffany and Crystal who keep popping the presentation links back in there. I appreciate that very much, as I know we still have people joining us. And also to those that have just joined us, please make sure to include your name in the chat so that you get attendance credit. All right. So this next slide, if you have not done so already, please click that first link to enroll in the Canvas Basics course. If you're already registered, click the one that says click here, or just navigate to your dashboard. And I'm moving the videos and pictures of you guys over to my other screen. So that way, if anybody needs a help, just unmute yourself and ask for help, okay? This is a hands-on session. So before I move any further, can everyone see my screen right now? It should be my dashboard. Thumbs up, thank you, thank you. All right, was everybody able to get there? Yes, April, it makes a huge difference. I went and got my monitor from my office because yeah, it makes a huge difference about needing a second screen. Was everybody able to move their Zoom over, minimize it a little bit so they're able to, Maria, this is not for Seesaw, this is for Canvas. Melissa is running the Seesaw one. Sorry, so was everybody able to get their Canvas, get into Canvas first of all, and able to get that pulled up? Looks like mostly yeses. I got a couple still working on it. So you can just move your Zoom, just minimize it, make it a little smaller. You should still be able to hear me and see me if you make it smaller. And then open up Chrome. And then you can go directly to leisd.instructure.com. It may prompt you to accept. It may prompt you to log in. If you're not able to access the course, that's a chance that you are not enrolled in the course. And if you're not enrolled in the course, you can get that from the presentation link. Tiffany or Crystal, if one of y'all could share the presentation link again, that would be awesome. I can also put
to add the link to enroll automatically in there?
Yes, if you've got that link.
Got it.
You can pop that into. So if you are not enrolled, Tiffany is about to pop that into the chat as well. So if you need to enroll directly in the course, you can do that as well. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started now, and then if we need to, we'll come back and help those that may need some extra help. So in your dashboard, you actually may be in your Canvas Basics course right now. So if you're actually in a course, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that LE button and get back to your dashboard. So right now, go ahead and hit that LE, and that should take you back to your dashboard. All right. What we're going to start by doing is we are going to start by creating a sandbox. So to help with the terminology here that I know I want to make sure that we understand, the sandbox is simply an empty shell for you to build your content in. I know that some of my English teachers, you guys already have a sandbox that was created for you by Amanda, and she's already talked to me about that. And yes, you can use that sandbox for this. But I still want you to understand the process and the steps on how to do that. So everybody, what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down, and on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see Start a New Course. Click Start a New Course and give it a name. I recommend first name, last name, Sandbox, and the year. Don't worry about short name and don't worry about content license. I just always leave those as the default. Doesn't really impact anything. When you've put in your first name, your last name, Sandbox, and the year, hit Create Course. If you can use the little emoticon, guys, or in the chat and let me know that you were able to do that. And if you were not able to do that, let us know, please. Keisha, on your, I don't have this. If your screen is small, let me go back to my dashboard real quick. If your screen is small, like maybe you have it minimized so it's a little thinner. And yes, I'll repeat all the instructions again. If it's a little thinner, it may actually be down at the very bottom of your screen. So depending on how much room you left, let me see if it'll go down. So you can see it's going to go all the way down to the bottom. You might have Start a New Course at the bottom. Otherwise, it should be located on the right-hand side of your dashboard.
Misty,
Yes, ma'am.
I must be in the wrong dashboard. I'm on dashboard, but I see a to-do list and I've scrolled all the way to the bottom, but I don't see Start a New Course.
Keisha, you may not be a teacher in any courses because you don't have students in focus, so that might be why. So what I'm going to do real quick is make one for you and add you as a teacher, and then it'll be there.
You don't have to, Misty. You can go on with your course. I can. That's fine. Don't deviate from what you're doing. That's
okay.
fine. What you're doing.
So I'm sorry. Yes, that if you guys are, if you're a counselor or dyslexia specialist, if you don't have students in focus, you may not have that ability because it's for teachers only. But we can get you teacher access. So I'll write myself a note. Okay.
Miss Misty.
Mariano, were you able to find that?
Miss Misty.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Florence.
I can't. I'm lost. I can't find. I'm only seeing you and your screen. I can't find my screen to go to the Sandbox where you said create a new course. I can't.
You may need to minimize your Zoom chat, your Zoom window.
I have.
Okay, and then open up a browser in Chrome.
Is it okay for me to click on the link you sent?
Yes, ma'am.
Would that be better? Which
yes,
I did, but now it's lost. I don't even know where it is. Okay, let me see over here. Okay, I am into it, but now I can't see your screen. Okay.
They're probably both in full screen mode. So when you go to one, it hides the other one. So you just have to, if you hold your cursor down at the bottom. If you're on a Mac, your dock will come up, and you may just have to click on the Chrome or whatever you're using as your browser to open it back up.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm gonna thank you, Tiffany. Mariano, change your view if you need to from the dashboard view or the way you've got it set up right now on your dashboard. That triple dots, you have options here that are card view, list view, and recent activity. If you change it back to card view, you should have that option.
Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome. And there was somebody else. Oh, just repeating the instructions. Okay, so that was start a new course, enter first name, last name, Sandbox, year, and then say create course. All right, everybody good now? I'm sorry, I've got a cough in my throat. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so hopefully you were able to make your Sandbox. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and start working in that. Let me find mine. Hopefully yours is already open. Go. All right. And about, can we change the title? Yes, you can always come back in and change the title, and especially the short title. Okay, Lisa, we were making a sandbox. So that was at your dashboard in Canvas.
Misty, were you talking to me?
McClellan? At Canvas, scroll down, hit start a new course, and give it a name, first name, last name, Sandbox 2020, and then start create course. And by the way, guys, this is all in your basics course as well. So if this model's not working for you, this is also in the basics course. I just know some people like it to be direct where they can stop and ask questions, and some people like to watch the video where they can pause it and rewatch it and go at their own pace. All right, so the next thing we had that we are going to do is make a module. And don't worry about your sidebar. We're going to take care of pushing sidebars out for everybody this year. So this will be taken care of for you. You don't need to worry about your sidebar navigation. So don't even worry about that. So right now, you should all be on a page that looks like this. And what you're going to do is hit this plus button, blue plus button that says plus module. Please do that now. And if you'll give me a thumbs up or something. All right.
Done.
And, oh, someone say something?
Yeah, I can't minimize you and do the plus up, so I have to say done or something.
Oh, okay. No, that's totally fine. All right. So this is a module, and there are two different ways really to think about modules. Modules can be an overall unit. So like unit 1, thinking like a historian, unit 7, weather, unit 6, poetry and nonfiction, whatever it is. Or they can be set up weekly. So week 1, August 12th through August 15th. Week 2, August 18th through August 22nd. I don't know if those dates are right, but you get the idea. That is up to you. So that's up to you, and really that may be up to your team or up to your campus on how you structure that. But for today's practice, go ahead and just call it whatever you want. I'm gonna call mine Unit 1, practicing making a module. And then say add module. Sandra, I'm gonna, the link to it. Oh, Tiffany, gotcha. There's the link to the course. Thank you. All right. Was everyone able to make a module? Yes. See some thumbs ups. Thank you, thank you. All right, and so now what we're going to do is we are going to make a page. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. Talking about embedding, really this should be under pages. I'm going to move that real quick. Well, we'll come back to it. Let's make a page. Let's just stick to our schedule. Let's make a page. All right, so there are two ways to build pretty much everything in Canvas. The first way is using this sidebar menu over here. So you see the word pages, but I personally don't like to build from the sidebar. I like to build from the module level. And the reason for that is the organization factor. If you just build a bunch of pages and leave that accessible to your students, they can go and click on pages and see any of the content that you have there at any of the time, and it's not structured and it doesn't have a flow to it. Versus if you build from the module level, when the students see that module, everything is organized and everything is in the order that you would like them to experience it. So the learning material comes before the hands-on practice, which makes sense because that's the same way we would teach it in a live face-to-face environment. So what I recommend you do is you actually start at the module level. Right here, this module that you just made, this gray bar, you're going to hit this gray plus sign. And then you're going to pick page from the drop-down list. I'll wait there, and I'll repeat the steps. So I'm at the module level. I hit the gray plus sign. I selected page from the drop-down. That's all I've done so far. Now I'm going to say new page, and I'm going to give it a name. And again, you wouldn't normally call it practice content page. You would call it whatever it is. Photosynthesis notes. Video on integers. Like my content examples there, guys. And then you say add item. Okay, so again, that was plus, select page from the drop down, new page, give it a name, add item. So I've got two now, but I'm gonna delete this one. Yes, Mr. Vargas, this is already exists. This how-to already exists in the Canvas Basics course. If you guys need that video, I've got a full Canvas library of YouTube videos of how-tos that show you everything we're doing today step by step. April, as far as indenting, that is up to you. I like to do some indenting because it kind of organizes it like a outline. I'm going to show you, for example, in the Canvas Basics course, I have the instructional materials over, but the assignment that goes with it is indented one over. So that's up to you. But I like to indent to a certain degree. It just helps from the organization standpoint. Okay. So you have to click edit. And then a page is just somewhere to share information. Yes, that's exactly what a page is. It's a page is a place for you to share your instructional materials. So let's go ahead and click on the name of the page that you just created. And then click edit. So again, I clicked on the name of the page and then I clicked edit. All right, everybody with me here?
Where is edit?
When you click on the name of the actual page itself, at the top,
yes,
you should have an option that says edit.
okay.
Okay, so this is the new content editor. So for those of you who have actually used Canvas before, this is going to look a little different to you. And for those of you who are new, the good news is you won't know any different. So this is perfect time to start it. This is very similar to just a Google Doc editor, a Microsoft Office editor, but this is your control in your content. So you can actually type anything you want here. So I can type content. I can resize it. I can make it bigger. I can change it to a heading. You know, I have some different controls. Can bold, italicize, bullet points. Okay, so one of the things that you might do is you might use a content page to literally type information in. But more than likely, you're going to be using content pages to use content you already have. So what I want you to do, okay, on those little triple dots right here, click those. And also, just so you can see, this is also where you have the ability to add tables, and there's a math equation editor. So for my math and science teachers, you can insert math equations here. But what I want you guys to do is to click on this little plug. Does everyone see the little plug? So those were triple dots on my toolbar, and then this little, it looks like a plug, an extension cord plug. You click that, that is going to open up apps that I've already added to our entire Canvas course. The ones you'll use the most will be Google Apps, Khan Academy, and YouTube. What I'd like everyone to do, please, is to click on Google Apps. You may need to authorize your drive if you have never done this. If you have, it's actually going to pull up your drive. So for those of you who were Google Classroom users, I want you to see how you can reuse anything you've already made in Canvas. So I'm going to go find a Google slide presentation, and I'm going to embed that into my page. Maybe if I go to the right folder. And by the way, guys, this is searching my entire drive. And if you know the name of it, you can also search by name, just so you know. I'm going the slow way, but if you know the name, you can type in the name and search for it that way. If you're needing to log into Google,
hey, Miss,
you may need to, there should be an authorize button. You may need to scroll down a little bit to see it, but you'll need to authorize your drive. And sorry, it's going very slow here for me. And hey, yes, I agree. It looks so much more clean in here than in your actual drive.
Are we able to insert links? Like, do we have to use the, like if we're making YouTube videos and embedding those, do we have to use the YouTube app, or can we just embed links?
You can also embed them, and I'll show you that in just a second.
Okay. And also, I didn't see an app that a connection for Desmos. Is that going to be something that's available to us? Desmos,
I think, is available. If nothing else, I know you can link to it externally.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So what I like to do is, guys, I like to embed. And the reason for that is it actually pops that presentation into this Canvas page. My students now don't have to go to Drive and find this. It is live in my Canvas page. And once I hit save and publish, any changes I make to this presentation in my Drive also immediately show up in Canvas. So I do not have to come back in and re-upload this to Canvas if I use Google Drive.
Misty, is that a new feature? Because I thought that we had to, if we changed anything in our drive, we had to go back in and re-upload it.
If you use PowerPoint, you have to re-upload it.
Ah, okay, thank you.
If you use Google Slides, it's automatic.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Alex, that's getting a little bit ahead. Google Slide Activity is going to be under assignments.
Cool.
Google Cloud assignments. But yes, there's a way to do that.
And it's so much easier. He'll love it.
Yes. And yes, imagine all the clutter you'll clear out of your mailbox. Yes, because your students won't be emailing you to ask for access. And when I don't think we'll get to Google Cloud assignments, but when you get there in the course, they do not share a link with you. They turn it in through Canvas. So now we've made a page. It's okay, April, it's okay if you don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I know, here's the thing about Canvas. There is so much to it, but if you take it in small steps, you will get there. And I've structured the basics course in the hope that everything will build progressively. By the time you finish basics, you will have made a Google Cloud assignment, you will have made an online assignment, you will have made a content page, you will have added an external link. Those are all the things you would need to start day one with your students. Okay. So going back, I'm going to go back to edit because somebody asked about like embedding YouTube videos. So I want to show you also in a content page that, don't worry about Zoo. You know.
Sorry, guys.
So originally I showed you the little plug right here, but you can also use this media icon and you have an option to upload and record media. So this will let me search my computer for any files that I have. Record actually lets me record a video right now. So there I am. I can start recording. I can also turn my webcam off and just do audio. Or I can embed. So if I have an embed code from YouTube, I can copy and paste it here and then hit submit. Anything that can't be linked because of copyright? No, because this is internal. You're not making this publicly accessible, and hopefully you're not showing a whole video or anything like that that would have an issue because of copyright usage anyway. But that's a very good question. You can also do this for files. So those of you that have PDFs or Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, you can upload a file from your computer and pop it in. You can also link. And that's what all those icons are there, okay? So I'm gonna pause and let's answer questions or ask questions. Anything you want me to show you again on making a page?
What's the difference between a page and the assignments?
A page is purely instructional content. An assignment would be something that they would actually complete, just like an assignment in class.
But you can embed an assignment within a page, correct?
You can't embed what do you mean, Dawn?
Like I have a editable text document that's an assignment that I put in the page after they watch the video on it. Can I not put in an assignment on a page right after the content? You know what I mean?
What I would do is I would do them separate. I would do the assignment as an assignment so they could submit it through Canvas and so that you could grade it and speed grade it instead of having to open it up from somewhere else.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
But you could link like or embed like an ed puzzle or something like that in it, which
Yes.
would be, yeah.
Oh, great question that just came in. I created 2 pages, but I want to rearrange them. How do I do that? So at your module level, I'm going to back up to my modules real quick, guys. And I'm going to make a second page just to show you. And the fastest way to get back to your modules is either to hit home or modules on the sidebar. Somebody just asked that. Not assignment. Whoops. Okay, so if I don't like the order, you should have these little dots here, Kelly, and you should be able to drag and reorder them.
You can even drag things into different modules as well,
Yes.
which is a nice feature.
Yes, so if I make a second module, and I don't want to get too far ahead, but just so you can see, I can actually click and drag those things to go down into these other modules as well.
So on the same note, I just added a second document to my first page that we're testing, but it popped in at the top and I wanted it to go next. How do I move it down underneath the first thing I put in my page?
If you're editing your page, just cut and paste it like you would with a regular Google Doc or something.
Okay, because when I click on it, it's an image and there's blue lines around it, but it's not really letting me like move it down.
So like if I click here, I'm technically clicked on it. I can like Control X for cut. And then
okay.
Control V for paste.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah. Use those keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah. Okay.
Crystal, on the Google Apps tab, I click on nothing, click on it and nothing happens. You might need to, one, make sure that you've authorized it and that it's connected. And then if it's still giving you some issues, you may need to just clear out your cache. So this is for anybody. If you're finding that it's not playing nice, your images aren't loading, or your Google account isn't syncing, you may need to clear out your cache in Chrome and make sure your Chrome is up to date. That's just some basic kind of tech troubleshooting things. Okay.
You also have to make sure you're logged into your work Gmail account because it's internal. You can't be your personal. If your personal is logged in, it'll cause problems.
Somebody asked about how to put a PDF or Word doc. So that was in the same place when you go to edit.
Get inside.
Up here in this toolbar, there's this little paper that looks like this little icon that looks like a piece of paper. If you click that, it says upload document.
Now bring it inside and then just take a wipe.
Then you can click upload file and that'll actually search your computer. You can find your PDF or doc. And let me see. I don't know what that is, but it's some kind of statement. So maybe I shouldn't show you that. I don't know what it is, but you would then say submit and it would pop that PDF into the page for you. At the bottom of the edit page. Oh, okay. Thank you. Good question, Carly. Is there anything we need to know about the options at the bottom of the edit page? Add to student to do. That means it's going to show up in your student's to-do list. So the same way that you guys have a to-do list where you see like your assignments from Canvas or badge courses, you could make pages show up, and that would be especially if you wanted them to make sure they viewed or mark this page as done. And that's something that you can get into. Mastery paths, that is only if you're setting up a mastery path, which is something we talked about this morning. It is a pretty advanced feature. So for most of you, you're probably not going to be starting off school year with mastery paths. So I wouldn't worry about that right now. These other icons, this little guy right here, this is an accessibility checker, which is awesome because this will let you check your content page and see how accessible it is for your students who might have screen readers or other needs. And then this little guy right here is HTML. So for those of you who are into coding, have at it. That's where you can go in and actually tweak the HTML of the page. But for the most part, you probably don't need to do that. Just gonna throw that out there. That's for my daring, adventurous people. All right, can we add a link to the corresponding assignments page at the end of the instruction page? Yes. I'm gonna go back in. When you are adding links to a page, right here, you have options between external and course links. Course links is going to actually search your course. So if you had an assignment created, which I don't right now, they would show up here and you could actually link it directly into your page as well. Can you set requirements on the pages, or is that only for the modules? You set the requirements and prereqs at the module level. But you can determine to what extent those prereqs and requirements are, and that is part of the Beyond Basics course, by the way. There's a whole section on that. Okay, it's 1:40, so technically our time is up. But I'm gonna stay. So if you need to go, you are welcome to go. If you wanna stay, stay. What I will say is that for everyone here, go submit in the Canvas Basics course your sandbox, your module, and your page, because you made those 3 things today. So that's 3 of the assignments from the Canvas Basics course that you guys just knocked out. So yay, you. Except Keisha. I'm sorry, Keisha. But I'm going to stay on, and if anybody wants to ask more questions, I'm here. I also want to remind you that I am offering weekly webinars, and those are linked in the presentation. And those webinars will be specific. So week 1, I think it's just generally getting started. But then after that, every other week, I'm covering a specific one skill. So making a content page, making an online assignment, making a Google Cloud assignment. So go look at those trainings and find the ones that you think you might need help with, and then come to those webinars, and I will be there, and it'll be a face-to-face session just like this. And those of you that don't want to face-to-face with me, use the videos. It's still me, but you know.
Hey, Carly had a good question in there about adding a file directly to a module. And if it would be easier just to add it as a file. From a teacher standpoint who's used this, I don't like doing that because it creates, the kids leave the Canvas. They either have to download it. It's easier if you put it in a page and embed it. Just my thoughts, but Misty, what do you think?
I agree. In my personal opinion, anything that I can embed into a page, I'm embedding into a page. It keeps your kids in Canvas. And I'm going to speak to my high school teacher specifically. My middle school teachers are used to this, but your freshmen are going to be on Chromebooks. So they're not going to have the capacity or the tools to download PowerPoints and things like that. So the more you can keep them in Canvas, the better off they will be. So just something to keep in mind for those of you that'll have freshmen.
I have a question for you. If we're embedding the Google Docs and the student has an assignment to complete on that Google Doc, how does that work out? Do they need to have access to edit it? Do they need to make a copy, or what happens?
So that is actually called a Google Cloud assignment. And you'll see that in the basics course under assignments. What that does is it takes your Google Doc and it makes them their own copy. And they can then submit that directly in Canvas.
So I need to embed it like I did, and it'll automatically do it?
It's a little bit different.
Okay.
The instructions for setup for it are a little bit different than the page.
Okay, I'll check that out then. Thanks.
Check out the video because it does look, or come to the webinar, and we'll be doing that one live for sure.
Okay, cool.
But yes, it looks a little bit different, but it will make them their own copy, and they can submit it directly in Canvas.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Charles, should assignments be separate? I don't know if he's still with us. He may already be gone. I say keep everything in the module, though. His question was about separating assignments. I think everything should be embedded in the module. Think of it like your lesson cycle. You would present everything to your students. You wouldn't just throw the files on the floor and expect them to find it. That's, you know, you would organize it and you would give it to them. So I think that's what the module is functioning as. And Lisa shared that that's what she did during at-home learning. Yes.
Well, Missy, and I think that makes it easier for them to click the next button and the back button instead of going, where am I now? What do I do next?
Yes.
What assignment do I do? What page do I do? So within the module, they just train them to click the next button instead of clicking assignments and clicking pages, and they just click next and back.
Lisa?
Hey, so I was wanting to share add some teachers to my Canvas so they can see. Is there a way for me to hide all my kiddos so they don't so I don't violate any rules, but I want them to go
You
help
shouldn't have,
people see the layout.
so a couple of things. You shouldn't have kids in your sandbox.
I was going to show them my previous one that I had done so they can see how I did all those layouts.
Oh, your kids, unless you show them grades, your kids should not be really viewable because your classes should have concluded.
Okay, cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was gonna try to add them as a teacher so they could kind of see the way I had things set up, or should I set them as an observer?
So you may not be able to because that class has actually technically concluded. What I would do is make your sandbox and copy that content into your sandbox and add them to that.
That's cool. Easy to do. It just helped me when I was trying to set my stuff up to be able to
It helps to see one. It definitely does.
set things up. So cool. I will do that.
When we create when I create my sandbox, it says unpublished. Now, for practical purposes, at the beginning of the year, I noticed when we have classes assigned to us, it's already populated. We already have our courses populated. Are those already published, or do we need to publish this? I'm a little confused about that.
Okay. So somebody else kind of asked that same question, so I'm going to tie it into the question that came in through chat as well. You don't have to publish it for like you as the teacher to be able to see it, for me as the administrator to be able to see it, but your students do not see it until it's published. So
Okay.
even though they're populated into it, they do not see it until you hit publish.
Oh, okay.
Are you able to?
And this is one of the most common questions I get asked the first week of school is teachers and students will be like, I can't find my Canvas course. And most often it's because the course isn't published.
Okay. And you want us to turn in screenshots of the sandbox created, the module created, and a page created. Is that correct?
That's part of your Canvas basics, and it'll tell you that when you click on the hands-on.
Yeah.
Let me find in the course itself, it'll say how to submit.
Got it. Thank you.
So you can either do a link or you can submit a screenshot. Does that help there?
Yes, thank you.
Somebody asked about anyone in the Spanish department already have one set up that I can take a look at. I know that Mr. Gonzalez at the high school used it a little bit, Crystal. I don't know how much he used it, but you may want to talk to him, but I know he used it some.
Look in Commons. There might be some in there also that you can look at.
I'll add you. I'm exporting everything now. So
Thank you.
I'll send an email to all the math peeps. If anybody else wants it too, that's cool. I got you. And I'm also one of those people that likes to make things pretty because I'm extra. My husband hates it, but I like it, so deal with it. I'm sorry. You don't have to do
I'm
that.
right there with you.
And guys, like I said, just keep in mind that if you start to feel overwhelmed, just send me an email. Like, just take a breath, send me an email, ask your question. 90% of the time, I get back to you within a couple of hours at max. And usually I'll send you either a video that will walk you directly through it or a click sheet or something. I'm going to make sure that you're not just having to figure it out on your own. I promise. That's what I'm here for.
Misty,
Yes.
is there any way you can tell me the steps? Because I feel like with this presentation, I enroll in the gifted class and I'm learning a new language. So what should I do first? Should I just go to my Canvas course and start getting familiar with it and then try to do the activities, or what do you recommend?
So I think it kind of depends on how you learn, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are dive in, test it, try to break it, whatever it is that, that helps you function. And some people are studiers. So if you go through the Canvas course, the basics course, I've structured it so that there's a video, and then right below that is the activity that goes directly with the video above it.
Oh, great. Okay.
So you could watch that video, and then by hitting next, it's going to be do what you just watched.
Okay.
But other
Great.
people just like to try it all out. So it's whatever works best for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How do I change the name on my Sandbox? Under your settings. Am I still sharing my screen, guys? I don't know.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. In your course, you go to settings. And right there, you can change the name.
I think can you change it? I want to say there was a way to do it even from your dashboard now.
There might be.
Might be. If you click on the 3 dots.
If
the
else,
nickname. It's just the nickname.
Just let you change the short
Yeah,
name.
the nickname it lets you change.
How do I delete old courses that are no longer relevant? This is a great question because people ask this a lot. So in your dashboard, well, a couple of things. If it's some kind of yearly, like TELPAS type course, technically speaking, please don't unenroll from those because they use that for historical grading purposes. Like if you ever get audited to show that you've completed your TELPAS training for the previous years or HR training or whatever. So don't unenroll. But I've asked the people that created those courses to conclude them. Some of them have and some of them have not. But what you can do, just so that it's not in your way, is on your dashboard, go to courses, and then all courses, which I have a lot of courses. So, and then anything with an orange star will show up on your dashboard. So anything you don't want to see, just click that star and it will take it off your dashboard. So that's a way you can clean some of those up, at least from the being able to see them side. Shannon, thank you. That is my YouTube channel. I have a new one too, and it's linked in the basics course. That may be the same link. Because I started updating them. So all of the videos on this one, have been updated as of May 2020. The old one is still good. It's just that some of the information may be out of date. Like the images may be out of date. It's going to show the old text editor and things like that. But I think it's the same link. I think I actually just swapped all the videos out.
Speaking of images, what is Unsplash?
It's like a Pixabay or it's a Commons that has images that are free to use.
Okay, because I was just trying to upload an image and it had that, but I didn't know what it was. Okay.
Yes, so like if you don't have a picture and you want to type in cat, those are all free to use images.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, guys?
Misty, I was in a different session this morning as a teacher panelist, so I wasn't able to do the mastery path. Did y'all record that where I can watch it later, or is it already on your YouTube channel or something?
It's not on my YouTube channel yet, but yes, I did record it, and I will. Were you registered for it, Shannon?
No, because I was registered for another session at the same time, but I can email you.
Let me just write your name down.
Okay.
And I'll make sure you get a copy of it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Kelly, if you didn't get it in your module, so sorry, I've got so many tabs open. If for some reason a page doesn't show up where you're expecting it to, whenever you come into your module and you hit page, instead of saying new page, you should be able to add an already created one to your module.
Misty, I know you may have said this. If we were already subscribed to your old YouTube channel, will we automatically be subscribed to your new one?
I think I actually used the same one, Dawn. I think I just removed all the old videos and added the new ones to it.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect.
So I think it's the way, I think that's how I did it.
All right.
Hoping to make it easier for you guys.
Okay.
What the question? Canvas courses, teacher access. Okay, Ella, I'm writing you down as needing teacher access. I'll make sure to get you and Keisha both. How do I upload my link? So, Margaret, in the Canvas Basics course, I actually shared an announcement that shows you how to submit assignments. And it'll walk you through how you can submit.
And actually, I did watch it. However, now that I'm actually in it and I'm trying to upload, I can't figure out how to do my link.
So
you just go to the URL and copy it, and then click the tab that says.
Yeah, let me go to student view. By the way, guys, there is a student view. I don't know if Misty Chestnut's with us, but she had asked about this in another one. So there is a student view, and this lets you test things out kind of as a student. There are some limitations because you can't connect yourself to a Google Drive as a student because it's not a real student account. But for the most part, you can pretty much see what your students see. So right here on Create a Sandbox, I'm going to say resubmit just so you can see. On website URL, you can just copy and paste it there.
And when you're in student view, you can become a test student, and that way when you click back over, you can practice grading before you have students too. It's
yes.
Okay,
yes.
That's maybe the part that I was missing, is the test student piece, because I've looked at the view before and it is definitely helpful, but I wanted to be able to do more.
Yeah, I went through and I practiced all my assignments to make sure I didn't mess them up or see what was missing. And then I clicked back over and was like, test student, what is this? And then I was like,
yes. So student view, you are now test student. That's you. So anything you do in student view, anything you submit will show up back on the teacher side as being submitted by test student.
Perfect.
Yes.
And if you click reset student, it erases it all.
Yes.
Oh,
so if you're like, I need to test it again, you can reset it and do it again.
Cool. Misty, can I get set up to be, I'm not sure if I'm a teacher or not. And I am right now just still struggling because everything I'm seeing is saying my drive is authorized. But I don't know if I'm looking in all the wrong spots or what, because in Canvas, it's still telling me I need to get it authorized.
Okay, Misty, try clearing out your cache completely in your Chrome browser.
Okay.
And then trying again, okay? And if you're still having trouble with that, let me know and we can set up a Zoom or something where I can kind of check your settings.
Cool. I'll take a look at it. I'm sure I have had the cache clearing sometimes is magic on my computer, so I'll check that out.
Yes. It's funny how bogged down it gets by that. So anything else, guys?
Misty, you know how when you, like for your training videos, when you embed a video and I go to that pay, I hit click next, your video is just there ready to play, right?
Yes.
So I just tried to embed just a random YouTube video and then I went and saved it and then I went back into my page and there's just this little tiny box with the video there and then I have to click on it to make it bigger, but there's also this little tiny symbol, like an arrow symbol, and it says link to the external site. And then if I click on that, it takes me outside of Canvas and I don't want that.
So let me show you, Dawn, okay?
All right.
A little bit different way. So I'm gonna go down into my practice page right here.
Right.
The one that doesn't have anything in it, just for clarity's sake. I'm gonna click edit. Now in another tab, I already have YouTube open.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pick a video. I'm gonna right click on the video. And for you guys, that may be a 2-finger click or whatever. And I'm gonna get the copy embed code.
Oh.
You see that?
Okay. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna come back to my page. And when I go to the audio icon, the video icon, one of the options is embed.
Oh, you don't use that little link thing?
I'm gonna paste it here. And I like to resize mine to 700 by 394. That's just personal preference. And then say submit. And that will put it in all nice and ready to go.
Ah, very cool. Okay.
You can also click and drag it to the size you want in the screen if you
Yes.
don't want to mess with the.
If you don't want to mess with the
code.
HTML and resizing
Yeah.
and stuff, yes.
Those of us who are okay with that much HTML, it's okay. But if that overwhelms you, just click and drag it before you click save.
Okay, so Misty, can you go back again to that YouTube and copy paste the actual URL like most of us would try to be doing it first, and then do it that way?
Oh, so like from this, like this link
Yeah,
right here?
copy paste. That's what I did. So I copied that and pasted it, or I hit the embed that little chain.
So that is just going to be a link.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the difference. Is the
Okay.
embedding it is actually making it large size where you're looking at it only on that page versus doing it the other way as a link.
Okay, perfect.
Or Dawn, you can come here and do the plug and click on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
And then
The plug is great.
Put that same link in. Of course, it's going to say it didn't find any results. Let's try again. What's it called? It's my assignment, so I should be able to find that, right? There it goes. Okay, so now you have an embed option from here too, and you can
Nice.
resize it here as well. So if I
Okay.
say medium, and it's going to pop it in.
That's cool.
Excellent. Thank you.
You have a few different options there.
All right.
Hey, Misty, it's me, Rebus.
Hello.
I already cleared out the cache and everything, and I'm still, my Google Apps is not working. I click on the arrow and nothing pulls down. At one point, it was allowing me, it said sign in to Google, but there was no button, and now that no longer pops up, so I don't know.
Okay.
We're probably gonna have to set up a session, you and I.
Yeah, we may have to do something just so I can see your screen.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
that'll help me if I can see kind of what you're seeing.
Yes, definitely. How do I?
Maybe try logging in on another tab to Rapid Identity and making sure you're still logged into Rapid Identity, because sometimes it'll do that to me and it's like my Rapid Identity expired or whatever, and I just have to re-log into that and it fixes everything.
And I did try to log back in through there. So I'm gonna just close all my tabs and retry.
The other thing you can check, Crystal, is under your account settings in Canvas.
Okay.
So there's your profile picture or maybe a circle, just depending on what you have there. Under settings, there are some registered web services. Sometimes it helps if you disconnect and reconnect Google Drive from that point too.
Okay, so in my account,
And then
settings, you said? Account settings?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then web services.
Right.
And if it's there, you can always click it off, and then you can click it back to add it again.
Registered services, it says no registered services.
Okay, so do you have Google Drive on your under other services?
Yep, it's right there.
Go ahead and click that and see if that helps too.
Okay, there. Yay, I think it's working.
You may need to refresh, but try that out.
Okay, it worked.
Yay!
That was the issue. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so again, for those of you who are still with me, just know that if you're feeling overwhelmed in this moment, it's okay. I promise it's going to be okay. I think in the Don't Panic is the one where I have the terminology cheat sheet, because I know it is almost like a second language. Yes, right here. So this is a little rundown of the different terms. So Canvas admin, that's me. Canvas Commons explains what that is, explains what content pages, instance modules, all of that is there for you to reference back to if you're feeling overwhelmed about the terminology. Me too, Leanne. I'm happy about that too. I really think that the more you use it, the more valuable you'll come to find it.
Year one was rough, and after that, it just gets easier and easier. And the more you push yourself outside of that comfort zone, then you get to be like me, where it's all about, oh, now I got to make it look pretty. Now it has to look visually appealing.
And it really is about immersion, because for 2 or 3 years I put it off, because every time I would go in and just play with it for a little while, I'd come back weeks later and try to play with it again, and I forgot what I was doing. So I found out that the more time I spend daily, a little bit at a time, every day, I'm learning a lot more.
April, I know she said year one, but I want you to know we got, and I'm gonna call them out, and they won't even care, but we got Yake and Horvath up running in a week. So it can be done. I promise. Because that was the deal with him. He said, can I have it ready to go in a week? If you can, I'll use it. And if not, I won't. So, I mean, if you give us an ultimatum like that, we're going to do what we can.
And April, there's a lot of people on the Strike campus who've been using it. I know McCaffrey used it a lot. I've used it a lot. And so just reach out. We'll help you.
Mr. Castagnon uses it for Spanish. Crystal, that was another one. Johnny uses it for Spanish as well. And Wester, Lisa Phillips, Manuel, those are some more Strike users that I know. It is a lot though. And I know, especially if you're making that transition, if you've been a full-time Google Classroom user, but I think the most important thing to remember is that the things you've already made can be used. That's like, to me, that's the thing that like doesn't dishearten me, is like you didn't waste your time by making these things in Google. They can still be used in your Canvas classroom. You do not have to start from scratch. So, all right, guys, any more questions or thoughts or fears or concerns?
Oh, actually, if I have you here, can you mind showing me like the assignment that we were talking about?
The Google Cloud one?
Yeah.
Yes,
Or
I
just,
will.
Yeah, just creating an assignment from there.
Okay, so, where's my, sorry. So a Google Cloud, can you guys see my screen? Okay. So I'm just gonna go through all the steps the same way I normally would do. So I'm gonna hit the plus sign, and I'm gonna select assignment from the drop down. And it defaults to assignment, just because. And I'm gonna call it this because I already have that, but Google Cloud assignment, but whatever you would call it. So if it was, like, what's one you're thinking of? You would actually give it the same name as whatever the assignment is. Okay, click on the title to edit it. And these steps are the same, whether you're building a page, an assignment, a quiz, a discussion, like those steps are always the same. Okay, and then you click edit. So that part is always the same. Don't do anything to the top part, just skip it. This is only for Google Cloud assignments though, okay? Regular online assignments are different. This is just for the ones where you're gonna use like an already made slide or doc.
Okay. When you mean by like other online, like it's like if I was embedding like a quizzes, is that what you're saying? Like that would be different?
That is gonna be different, yes. Or if you're like gonna put in problems and they're just gonna like text box solve them.
Oh, okay.
Something like that, that's different, okay? So because this is Google Cloud, we don't do anything up here to the top. You can go ahead and put how many points it's worth. And then I like to switch everything to percentage just so that it looks more like a regular grade book, but that's entirely up to you. You can decide how you want that done. The key here is on submission type.
Okay.
So normally you would say an online submission, like all of your things you do for us are online submissions.
Right.
But instead you're going to pick external tool. And then hit find, and then say Google Doc Cloud Assignment, and that's gonna search your drive.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, and I'll back up and I'll repeat that. So I made my assignment, I edited my assignment, I scrolled down to the bottom and I selected external tool as the submission type, and then I hit find and selected Google Doc Cloud Assignment from the list, and now it's searching my drive. So I'm gonna find the assignment that I want, and again, if up here at the top I can search, I think it was called Unicorn. I just misspelled that. So it's not going to find it. Rainbow Unicorn Drag to Solve. There's my assignment. I click and say submit. And then select. Here's where I can put my due dates in and who all I assign it to. One of the things I really like is I can say that it's due on Friday. It's available today until Tuesday. And the reason my due date and until date are different is because I know kids may need to turn it in late. So I've already kind of built in a buffer for my kids who aren't going to get it turned in on time, but it will mark it as being late in the gradebook. All right, I'm going to say save and publish. And it's going to auto create. And there it is. But what they can do is they click right here on it. And let me do this. I thought my Safari was going to open up, but apparently it did not. Again. Can you guys see my Safari window?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to log into the DLF account because it's a student so that you can see what this looks like from a student view.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what it looks like for your students. They'll have to authorize if they haven't authorized. It makes me every time because I'm not really signed into this account. But normally once you do it once, you don't have to do it again for the most part. Okay. So you can see how small it is there. So,
yeah.
But if they click right here.
Okay.
Going so slow. It's going to open it up in a new tab, but it's locked. So anything I do to it, and this is my copy now. You see my icon up here?
Oh, okay.
Like that's my copy, and it made that copy for me automatically.
So right now, since I hold on. Since I'm right now in my own personal account, when I made a copy, it's still under my teacher account though, right?
Yes, because you're the one that made it.
Right. So that's why you're in a separate thing as okay, cool.
Yeah, so that you can see it.
Right.
So, and then let's say that I'm done with my assignment, I can just close this tab and it automatically made those same changes over here in my Canvas window.
Oh, okay.
And then I just say submit.
Gotcha.
And now it's turned in.
Cool, perfect. Okay, thank you. Because I just made one just to see, but I haven't put it in any type of student version, so But.
And so there's their timestamp showing that it was submitted.
Okay. Thank you.
And a lot of times we will say to open this up because it's so small in that window, but it's instantaneous. So as long as they just close that out and then hit submit, they don't need to share it with you. They don't need to do anything else with it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. It's it's not too as you know, you're kind of working through it. It's you're making sense with it. So.
Dawn, will we ever get to a point where grades can be imported into Focus? Okay, I don't want to misspeak on this, but I'm going to speak bluntly about it. It's on the table. However, the way that the high school currently imports courses makes it so that it's not really possible. But they're talking back and forth with Focus. As of right now, the answer is no, we cannot direct sync. You can import grades, one assignment at a time. You can export it as a CSV file and import it into Focus, but we don't have direct grade pass back right now. Is that?
Okay, yeah. No, even that helps. Even just being able to do one assignment at a time, that's fine.
Yes, you can do one assignment at a time. You can export the assignment as a CSV file and then import that into Focus.
All right, thank you.
And eventually I hope that we're able to have full pass back. It's just right now, because of the way that Focus makes all those multiple sections, like, you know, you might have a biology class that has freshmen, sophomores, and juniors in it, and so it makes 3 first period sections.
Mm-hmm.
The grade passback doesn't like that.
Okay.
So, all right, anything else, guys? Okay, well then I'm gonna let you guys go, and please reach out. That's what I'm here for. I'm here, like I said, I'll be answering emails, I'll be having those webinars, and then once the school year gets going, I'm here to come work with you during your conference time, before school, after school, on lunch, whatever you need. And I also always have my YouTube playlist that is always being updated. I'm always adding new stuff to it, and here to help.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Misty.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day and a happy summer if this is your last training.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whew.
That was great.
Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate all your help. It's a lot.
It's hard to do that and watch the chat at the same time.
Yes.
So.
All right. Thank you so much for everything
You're
today.
welcome.
I appreciate you.
No problem. Have a good summer.
Have a good day. Bye.